Hey folks, I always get a bit confused when I do a video straight after I've had a haircut because I'm not used to the person looking back at me looking like this. It's confusing me. I'm a bit dense, I think, but yeah, I feel good after having my haircut. I feel fresher. Someone at work said to me I look slightly less dishevelled than I did on Friday, which was a little bit of a confidence dampener, but yeah, an improvement's an improvement. I'll take that win. They also pointed out that my hair and my beard are almost the same length now, which... yeah, I wonder if I can maintain the symmetry. I don't really want to cut my hair any shorter, but maybe I need to grow my beard out before I get it cut in future and just be a complete cycle of beard hair. All good. That seems like the dream scenario. The weekend was pretty busy, I guess, in a way. It was a bit up and down, but I went and sorted Claire's car on Friday. Had to go and sign all the paperwork, show them my ID, set it all up, that kind of thing. I got to see the car before she did, and she was a little bit annoyed. Not annoyed, that's not the word. Jealous, I guess, in a way. She's a little bit like, you didn't drive it, did you? And I'm like, no, I'm not a monster. You know, I knew she'd want to see it first, but I didn't even want to see it. It was quite funny. I filled out all the stuff, and then he was like, do you want to see the car? And I said, not really. I feel guilty seeing it before Claire. So he was like, all right. And then I signed all the stuff, and then he took me out back, and I thought we were just walking back to my car chatting, and he was like, come over here. And he just opened this door, and it was there, and I was like, well, I specifically said it. He was like, take a picture and send it to her. And I was like, but she's just going to go, oh, you saw it before I did. And that's pretty much what she said, which made me laugh. But yeah, she's excited to see it, she was. And the bloke said to me, we were filling out all the stuff, and he sort of said to me on the way out, make sure you cancel your direct debit for the old car because the new car's starting on like whatever in March, that date. And as I was sat in the car, I sort of thought, hang on a minute, that means I don't have to pay the bill this month because the bill doesn't normally go out until like the 20th. So I messaged Claire and was like, yes, I've just made like a couple of £100 out of this. I didn't even realise this was happening. I'm £200 better off, or whatever. I can't remember the exact amount. And she replied like, oh, that's awesome. And then she replied, remember, you have to give me such and such for Emily's going on a trip with school and such for parents' birthdays. And I was just like, and it reminded me of, well, I will get into it. It's kind of the side topic of this, but it's a long-winded story. You know, I'm like lots of different things. It's classic Sheepdog cartoon life stuff. But I was telling my colleague that I am cursed in that the universe, it's a curse and a blessing. The universe always puts me to a zero balance no matter what. And sometimes it feels like a massive curse, and sometimes it feels like a massive win, and sometimes it just feels like a neutral blur. Like this one, I text her going, oh, brilliant, they've just let me off the car payments for this month. She texts back, that's how much money I needed from you anyway. I see that as like a bit of a win because she'd have still needed that money and I wouldn't have had it if they had it. Well, I would have had it in another way, but this counterbalanced it and kind of just left me at a no win, no loss. So I'm like, ugh. But I've had the opposite. I've had a win at uni. When I first started uni as a nursing student, they didn't pay for the first 3 months. And about a month in, I was so skint and I couldn't afford to do anything. I couldn't afford to like sort anything out. And it was a nightmare. And I was kind of getting nervous about what to do. And as I was walking home one day, I just found £120 on the floor, just cool as you like. It was just on the floor. And I was like, boom. I think I mentioned this before. Someone there was like, oh, let's split it. And I was like, no, I found it. I'm skint. This is like rich girl whose dad paid for everything, wanted to split it with me. I was just like, no, thank you. I need this to live. Went and bought food, managed to live another couple of weeks, ended up having to get an overdraft to pay the bills, and then finally got paid by the uni because at the time student nurses got paid a bursary. But that felt like the universe going, here, Sheepdog, you've got no money. Here's enough money to go and buy 9p packs of noodles from Iceland and stay alive long enough for stuff to sort itself out. So I was just like, yeah. On the other side of that, I remember Claire and I, when we lived at my mum's while we were saving money for our wedding, we were absolutely skint because all our money was going on the baby, Emily, and our wedding and all the bits and pieces we had to pay for. And I discovered in an account that I had £100 in my bank account. And I said to Claire, let's get in the car and go into town and withdraw it, and then we can go and sort out X, Y, and Z, whatever it was. So we drove down into town. I got out, went to the cash machine, typed it all in, drew the money out, walked back into the car. Claire started the engine. She probably went, I want to say like 100 yards. We'd parked in Morrison's car park, and we drove across Morrison's car park, and then we just heard, and we got out of the car, and she'd driven over a nail, which burst the tyre, and the tyre was just completely ruined. And we were just like, what the hell? So I rang my dad, and my dad's like, there's a tyre place up the road, just drive it up there, it should be fine, it's deflating, but you'll get up the road. So we drove up the road, and the guy basically come out and looked at it. He said, I might be able to salvage it. He looked around it, and he was like, no, that is a proper, that's not, I can't just melt that shut or whatever they do. He was like, that can't be fixed. I'm going to need a new tyre. I could do it now, though. And we were like, how much is that going to be? And he was like, 100 quid. And I just thought, I just drew it out. I was like, the only reason we were here was because I had £100 in the bank. So I handed it over, we fixed the tyre, and then we drove home. And basically all we'd done was had to drive into town. If you count the petrol and the time it had cost us money, complete and utter failure. So I was a bit downbeat about the fact that we'd gone there and the money had come and gone like that. But Claire's getting a new car, all sorted, brilliant. It's basically like a phone contract. That car just gets swapped in every 3 years, and it's, because my dad gets a discount from Ford, we managed to get the car at a really good deal that pushed the price down, saved a fortune on it. It's really cool, really happy. Cuts things back a little bit, which is nice. And Claire was just really excited about driving, and she's gone from a Cougar, a bigger car, to a small Focus. She says it feels like driving a race car at the moment. She's loving it, which I'm really pleased about. So anyway, we went there on the Saturday afternoon to pick it up. Emily was gutted because Claire said she could come with us, but I was like, if she comes, they're all going to want to come, and then it's going to be a nightmare. So I said no, and she's really gutted. But we were there for so long, filling out paperwork. It was ridiculous. I thought I'd done it all on the Friday, and then we were there for ages sorting it out. So again, we did all that bit. And right at the end of it, the guy was like, you had the service plan last year. When we cancel that off, it'll give you a refund of the months you've not used. And I was like, brilliant, cool. The universe has suddenly given me back some money. It was like £150. I thought, wow, even though it stitched me up yesterday, there's nothing Claire can say now that's going to make me lose this money. Everything is great. So he said that's going to be in my account in the next couple of days. Happy days. We go off in the car. We actually nearly couldn't get the car because I'd forgot to bring this V5 form in, but I promised I'd bring it back the next day. I said, I definitely will. You know where I am. You know all my details. Here's the car. We'll take that one. I promise I'll bring this back tomorrow. So off we went in the car. Absolutely brilliant. Love it. It's really nice. It's got all the new stuff in it, like an app where you can lock it from the app, and you can see where it is from the app, and you can plan all your journey on it, and then you get in the car already knows where you're going and stuff like that. It's just fancy new stuff. It's got like an emergency button she can press in it, which as a social worker I'm very pleased about. She can press that if someone's threatening her and won't let her get out of her car or something. I was showing her, you might find this useful, I don't know about Android how you do it, there is a way, but on iPhone if you press the power button, you just keep pressing it and pressing it and pressing it, your phone will go boop, and then it'll count down from 3 and start phoning the emergency services. So I was showing her that and saying tell your colleagues, because they've all got this, I think I mentioned before, they've got this thing where you park in a disabled spot if you're under threat, and then it means you can get in and out your car quicker, but that is like the most protection they get as carers. So telling her these little things, I felt a little bit safer for her and all of this. But the car's great. So we came home, nothing went wrong. I was just like, okay, cool. I may have actually eaten my way through this and left the day with 150 big ones in my bank account, no problems. Just checking my notes because I made notes to make sure I didn't miss any details out of this story. So rest of Saturday went fine. Went to bed, got up the next morning. Storm, was it Kiara? I can't say it. Going on outside, and I'm like, I let Molly out to go to the toilet first thing, and she ran to the corner of our garden, and the fences are like this. And I just thought, I'm gonna have to go out there and like tighten it up when it's died down a bit. But she's like squatting next to it, and I'm thinking that fence, she's like here, and the fence is just like that. And I just thought, I'm like going, Molly, come away, like poo over here. And she's just like squatting along towards me, and I'm like, come away. And it's like, dang, it probably wasn't like that, it was more like that. And she was probably about there. And I'm thinking, she'd have to jump, she's a bit old. So I'm like, come here, I'm trying to get her in with treats. And I sort of messaged Claire, who was upstairs sort of getting ready for the day. And I was just like, the fence is hanging. I reckon that me and her dad could fix it, whatever, we could just prop it up. Anyway, so she gets up, and I was just like, I didn't sleep very well last night, I need to go and have a half-hour kip. I looked out and one of the fence panels had fallen down, and I was like, it's all fine. You know, again, I went out and checked it. It wasn't snapped. I thought, stick it back in. Job done. It'll be fine. So I went in at half-hour kip. I got woken up by Claire saying that another fence panel was just dangling really far back, and another one was falling. And I sort of started to get. I was like, don't go out there. I'll just quickly have a wash, and then I'll go out in like just scraggy clothes and sort it out. So I'm having a shower, and she comes in and she's like. And I'm like, what's the matter with you? And she said she went out in the garden because the trampoline had taken off and was like on the fence, and she said it was just going to bring the whole thing down. So she was trying to get this big, massive trampoline down from the fences. She said she managed to get it down, and I was like, why didn't you just get me? She was like, it was just too much. It was just too quick. She said she went out. The boys were putting their shoes on, trying to come out with her. She's like, stay in there. Like, it'll be carnage if you come out here. You know, 90-mile-an-hour winds, all of this. So she got the trampoline down, and then the wind started blowing it around the garden. I've got visions of this being like a hockey puck thing in one of those air hockey. It was just going around the garden while she was trying to rein it in and put weights on it to stop it. She ended up smashing her in the back of the leg, bless her. She was in agony yesterday. It seems to be much better today, but she was limping a bit last night. The muscle on her calf had just kind of got a small sort of bruise on it, and it felt a bit tender, but bless her, she was limping. So I went out there, tried to wait, because she'd made a makeshift weight on it, but I went out and secured it all the second I was able to get down, tried to fix a bit of the fence, but the wind was battering it. So by like midday, 3 lots of the fences had fallen down, and we were kind of like, well, what's this going to be? What damage is this going to be? And I'm thinking, I know exactly how much damage this is going to be. And I was all sort of nervous. We called this bloke to come out and test it, and we were going to go out for a drive in the car, but it was just carnage. I think we ventured out of the house for me to go buy some lunch from Tesco's next door. I had to take Molly out on her lead to go to the toilet because she couldn't go out in the garden because it was just a mess. It was like a marshland. There was bits of debris everywhere from the fences and the trampoline and the toys that were blowing around and all of this. And so I took her out. But other than that, we just stayed indoors. I had to drive out and give that form back to the Ford place, which when I got there, they were like, oh, cheers, yeah, we'll just stick it on his desk. And I'm thinking, this form's never going to see the light of day with anyone ever. I braved the weather to get it out to them, and it will just mean nothing. But anyway, bloke comes out as I look round, and then just sort of pops her a message. He actually said, right, so first off, I thought I was doubly cursed because he told it was 180 quid to fix it, and I was just like, oh, that's even more than the money I got yesterday. And then Claire reminded me that our neighbours part own the fences, so both sides are half and half. And I was like working it out, and I thought, actually, that means we'll only have to pay 90 because they'll pay 75, because it was actually like 30 quid their side's worth of damage and 150 quid their side's worth of damage. So I thought 15, 75, we're paying 90, they're paying 75 and 15. That's pretty decent, I suppose. I'm still 60 quid up. So Claire nips around to let them both know that we're calling someone, and they're both like, all right, yeah, cool, all right. So then she goes to them and says, right, he said it'll be 30 quid. And they're like, yep, cool, we'll sort out the 15 quid, no problem. Goes to that side, and they say, well, why do we have to pay that? And she was like, because it's our fence. And they're like, that's not right, that's not in the deeds. And we're like, yeah, no, it is. And he was like, well, I'm going to check. He was like, if it is, I'll pay, but I don't think it is. So at the moment, no, thank you. And so Claire come back to me like, well, what do I do? And I said, well, you go get the deeds and I'll read through them and then we'll go back and tell him. So I spent the next hour reading through all sorts of... Annoyingly, I actually brought it up on my phone, read a document, read a line, thought, don't know what that means, but I know there's something that says about the fences somewhere. So I carried on looking for an hour and then found the printed version of the document I found on my phone, read the same line I'd read at the beginning and thought, okay, it says it's a party fence. A party fence is a shared fence. So I Googled what is a party fence, read through a long document about party fences, and it confirmed that, yeah, each of the fences on this estate are owned by all the houses connected to them. So that one's ours and theirs, that one's ours and theirs, and that one's ours and theirs. And that's how it is. And for them, the wall on the other side doesn't belong to them, it belongs to the council because it's adjoining an estate road. So blah, blah, blah. I'd read it all, I know where I stood. But then Claire and I have just been debating who goes over and tells them, because I think if I go, it's going to be confrontational because Claire's already been over twice. So it looks like I'm storming over there to tell them. And she doesn't want to go because she's already spoken to them twice. So she wants to give them the chance to read their documents and come back to us to admit they were wrong. I don't think there's a hope in hell of that happening. I think we've agreed that I will go over tomorrow night now and try and joke my way through it and just be like, oh yeah. But I'm frustrated because at the moment it means we're on the hook for 165 of the 180, and that means that I've been bitten again, which is because it wasn't. I don't think it was exactly 150, but I think it was like 159 or something. So I'm just convinced now they're going to stitch me up for just enough that the universe will balance it. Even if, let's face it, even if they pay the 75, I'm probably gonna. I had another time when this sort of thing happened. I broke my tooth and I had to pay the money that I'd got for that. It's a genuine curse. I'm trying to think, like, I don't know what. I remember part of my stories of all of this is that one of the times it happened that when I benefited was when I dropped my Reading Festival ticket and ended up finding two and selling one of them and being like 100 and something. I basically evened out the weekend with that one, I guess. But it just feels like somewhere in the universe there's a balance sheet and they're going, oh, right, okay, he's at zero again, he's at zero again. Well, I mean, I'm not because of mortgage and debt and all that sort of stuff. But maybe that means once I've paid it off, maybe the day I break even on my debt, I'll just get given I don't know, 250 grand or something, and that'll be like, boom, that's balancing even again. Who knows? I don't know. I've lost track of the counting, but yeah. So this weekend has just been me getting slightly richer, slightly poorer, and ultimately being slightly, well, exactly the same. I think because of the car and the stuff, I end up like a tenner a month better off, which means that I'm probably due a £10 a month bill somewhere along the way. Something will change that means I have to pay £10 a month more. I was actually looking at it thinking something I am paying for stops being paid for in May, and I realised that something else goes up by that amount. It's just a ridiculous curse. I don't know how to break it. I need some sort of witch doctor to come, or a priest, and just like uncurse me. All the curses that are on me, get rid of them, and then maybe I'll be sorted. But yeah, as you can tell, I live a ridiculous life, and only I would notice these weird things. I think most people would just take it as things happen to them, but I just noticed the symmetry is ridiculous. Anyway, other than that, weekend was pretty fine. I've been reading Death Note on my app, and I'm like 70 chapters through it. That's a long story once you get into the weeds of it. I'm loving it. It's absolutely brilliant, but I just want to finish it now. I'm kind of just like, come on, let's end. But I think there's a hefty chunk of story left to go. Somebody told me the film of it's pretty rubbish, or there's like a film and a series, and one of them's good and one of them's bad. Just don't spoil it for me in the comments, please, because I'm enjoying it. Other than that, what else did we do? I don't think there was much really. The kids have had a bit of a cooped up weekend because of the storm. And then today it was snowing, so they had wet lunch. So tonight, Ollie and Ben were just bouncing off the walls. It was a bit mad. I had to email Ollie's teacher because a girl in his class has asked him if he'd like to join her on the golden table in 2 days' time. It's like when you get an award at school, you get the golden table, and then you can invite a friend to sit with you. And he said she offered him the spot. And I'm kind of like, the last time that happened, they then invited somebody else on the day because they were a 6-year-old then, and they just didn't remember, and it wasn't a big deal to them. They were just like, yeah, whatever. And he remembers. So I messaged the teacher and just said he remembers that this is going to happen in 2 days' time, and he's going to think about it. And she might not have meant it. She might not have really thought about it. She might have done it because she just wanted to be polite and knew he wanted it. She might have wanted to be friendly. She might have genuinely meant it at the time. Whatever. I'm not trying to say she didn't mean it, but the point is, if he doesn't get that now, he's going to be very upset. So I was just like, please, just remember, I'm telling you now, just to avoid a headache. If she forgets and he doesn't forget, it's going to it could potentially upset him. And he's having a really good time of it at the moment. So fingers crossed that goes well. It's such unusual little things that you have to keep track of. And I'm just desperate for him to just have a good week and be happy. And like a good week from his point of view. I mean, I want him to have a happy week. And if he gets to sit on the golden table, great, good for him. He has in other times been able to do it for either because he earned it or because he got invited. But in this instance, especially when it's someone I know he plays with now and again, but it's not like one of his friends he talks about a lot. It's just a girl in his class who's obviously said it to him. But yeah, let's see what happens, I guess. I'll keep you posted if anything relevant happens with it. Hopefully the teacher will just go, yeah, it was an invite, it's going to happen, sorted. But yeah, Other than that, I think we're all good. I'm feeling great today. It's funny actually, like for weeks I've been feeling under the weather. Today I just feel 10 out of 10, absolutely brilliant. Claire's feeling actually pretty good despite the sore leg. I feel like every week it's, oh, Claire's got this new ailment, she's hurt her neck, she's hurt this, she's hurt that, this is sore, that's sore. But she said she feels pretty good today as well, really, so that's cool. She was like, my leg feels all right, it's not hurting too much. I think we're both coming out of whatever bug we had, which is brilliant. This video has been long. I'm just seeing it tick towards 20, so I'm going to wrap up. I hope you're all well. Let me know how your weekend went. Let me know how your Monday went. Let me know your plans for the week. My plans for the week seem pretty clear. Go to work. I'm hoping for a snow day. It snowed here earlier, but snow never settles here, sadly, so we probably won't get one. Other than that, my big plan at the moment, the guy who did the fences is also going to put a patio down for, not a patio, like a base. We're going to put a garage out back. I'm going to take everything out of, a shed out back, take everything out of the garage, put it in the shed, get a skip to fill with other stuff from there. And then I'm going to move all my recording stuff in there. So I'm talking podcast stuff, vlog stuff, a TV, a games console. I might even bring my laptop in there to do my writing with. And I'm just going to make that my den of operations rather than taking over the kitchen and forcing Claire to sit upstairs. So I'm hoping that, assuming the universe doesn't keep ruining my plans with these stupid here's some money or I'm taking it with the other hand stuff, if I can get an inch ahead, then I will sort that out. I just thought of it just as another example of how the universe stitches me up. I got some money about 6 months ago. Someone sent me something, not related to this. It was a family member had given me some money as a gift. And that same day, my car rolled into my colleague's car. And he didn't know how much I'd been given, because this isn't a stitch up. I left my handbrake off and another colleague's car was holding it in place. And when she moved her car, my car rolled forward, bumped into the back of his car. The damage it did was the exact amount of money that I'd been given as a gift. And I couldn't believe it. Again, same day this happened. It is a genuine curse. If you weren't sure earlier on, I promise you that is the most compelling, convincing reason why this is 100% true. I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. Let me know about curses that you have to endure that are really weird ones like that, because this is genuine. There is nothing in the universe that will ever convince me that that isn't the case. I think if I won the lottery tomorrow, £100 million, I would probably somehow receive a £100 million copyright fine for something I've said on the vlog. Somewhere along the way, they'll be like, you have glasses and whatever, you look like this. You look like the guy from GTA 5. We're suing you for having his face, £100 million, and that'll be it. Yeah, I'm cursed. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you're well. Talk to you soon. Cheers.